Hello there, youth. How's everyone doing? Come on, let's worship God together before we start our lesson, shall we? Sing it out together with me. I stand upon. I stand upon the solid rock of faith in Christ. This steadfast hope shall not break apart within the trial. I am assured His promises will never fail. As long as life remains, He is faithful. God is patient. God is patient. God is kind. He does not envy. He does not boast. His ways are higher than my own. His thoughts consume the great unknown. Of this alone I am sure. My God, all time sing that again. My God, God is patient. God is kind. He does not envy. He does not boast. His ways are higher than my own. His thoughts consume the great unknown. Of this alone I am sure. My God is love. He is Almighty. Come on. He is Almighty God. Elohim. He's the maker of the earth. He is the Lord of hosts. Heaven's King. God of endless worth. His kingdom stands above every power, every living stone. His love is like the sun, ever true, shining on. He is Almighty God. He is Almighty God. Elohim, maker of the earth. He is the Lord of hosts. Heaven's King, God of endless worth. His kingdom stands above every power, every living soul. His love is like the sun, ever true, shining. One time, sing out. He is Almighty God. Elohim is the maker of the earth. He is the Lord of hosts. Heaven's King, God of endless worth. His kingdom stands above every power, every living soul. His love is like the sun, ever true, shining over all. God is patient. Our God is kind. He does not envy. He does not boast. His ways are higher than my own. His thoughts consume the great unknown. Of this alone I am sure. My God is love. So thank you, God, for this opportunity to learn more about you, to grow deeper in love with you, and to know you much more clearly. May you continue to reveal yourself to us as we continue to learn more about you and to grow deeper in you. Bless us, keep us for this week and forevermore. In your name, amen. Well, for all of us, have a great lesson in your life groups. Amen. See you soon.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little teenagers who left home and ventured out into the world. Before they left home, they were told, never forget the foundation on which your life is built. The first little teenager built her foundation on the relationship with her boyfriend. Everything she did was to impress him. How she did her hair, the way she dressed. She laughed at his not-so-funny jokes, and even thought his crudeness was cute. At night, they would talk on the phone until one of them fell asleep, and that was usually him. The second little teenager built his foundation on being the star athlete. Everything he did was to maintain his image. The extra workouts, the hours spent practicing in the gym, all to make sure everyone knew who he was. At night, he would sleep under his trophies to remind him of all his achievements. The third little teenager built his foundation on Christ. Everything he did from his schoolwork, his relationships with friends and family, and the way he treated others, he did to honor Christ. At night, he spent time reading his Bible and asking God to be his foundation. One day, the first little teenager went to meet her boyfriend, but he had found a new girl. He started telling her things like, "It's not you, it's me, and we can still be friends." She began to cry as he told her he was breaking up with her. She felt deeply depressed and helpless. At night, she cried herself to sleep, knowing she had built her foundation on straw. The second little teenager was playing in the big game when he heard something pop. Rumors spread around that he may never play again, and he lost his spot on the team. He was devastated. What would he do if he didn't play sports? At night, he laid awake, struggling to find peace, knowing he had built his foundation with sticks. The third little teenager came home one evening and his parents wanted to have a talk. As they sat there, they started telling him things like, "This just isn't working," and "This doesn't change how much we love you." The perfect life he thought he had started crumbling. He questioned why this was happening to him. His foundation, though shaken, stood strong because he built it on the brick.
I grew up in a Christian home. I went to church every Sunday, but I really didn't have much faith in God. I just went to church and just like one of the kids that sat in the back and not really paying attention. I was mostly interested in getting a black belt in Taekwondo. During Taekwondo, I was practicing for my black belt and I was putting on my uniform. I got a sudden feel of pain and my vision was blurred and I fell. I got a CAT scan and 2 or 3 days later, my mom and my dad took me into their room and sat me on their bed and told me that I was diagnosed with cancer. And at that moment, it felt like my life just stopped. When I got cancer, I actually just was wondering like, why God, why did you give this to me? I just felt like I wasn't a part of the world anymore. I was afraid of dying because since I was so worried about was I going to heaven or hell, it made me feel like if I died, I would go to hell and just not have a chance to do anything about it. It just made me feel really sad about it. My grandmother was actually a survivor of cancer, and she went through all of the negativity and towards God, and at the end, it changed her life to having a positive relationship with God, and that kind of got my mind going about just getting closer to God and having more faith. After that, I started looking towards Christ and keeping my faith and love towards Him. We would pray to God and just ask for forgiveness and health and good news. Most of the time we looked at scriptures about how He feels about us and how we should feel about Him and how we should show our faith. A year later, after chemotherapy and radiation, I went through an MRI and they told me that my cancerous tumor had shrunk, and that kind of made me feel like that God was listening and hearing me. I actually rededicated my life and I got baptized. And after I got baptized, it made me feel like I was a new person. A year later, I went through another MRI and they told me that my cancerous tumor had grown back. As I was going through the second chemotherapy, my faith wasn't broken, it kept growing. I knew I was going to heaven to see Him, even if I did die.